Chris, the number's one. One play for the Panthers offense today that went 15-plus yards. Just one.
Tyler Shuck did a lot better than that. Oh, shucks.
Let's get this sucker started.
Get dialed in, Panthers fans. Here comes an in-depth look at your team. Exclusive interviews. Locker room insight. Let's huddle up for Panthers Playbook. Presented by Wake Orthopedics, a Wake Med physician practice. Here are your hosts, Dennis Cox and Chris Lea.
Welcome back to another episode of Panthers Playbook. That's Chris Lea, Dennis Cox here with you. Panthers Playbook sponsored by Wake Orthopedics. Folks, just go right into the comment section. We all know the topic today. It's Bryce Young. How you feeling? How are you feeling?
Whoa. Are you going to be a hater today?
I'm only going to point out the fact that he threw for 124 yards, turned the ball over twice, and the only Panthers scoring drive came after a roughing the passer call when he threw an interception on the opening drive of the game.
Are you being a hater right now?
I'm simply pointing out stats. Chris, you're going to be called a cornball again if you keep this up. I just want to let you know that.
You're going to be called a hater again.
I am going to be called a hater. But let's be honest. The thing that we have been talking about over the last few weeks, so to go back to the game against the Jets, go back to even the game against the Green Bay Packers, is that you can't sustain success playing with an offense that is relying on simply one dimension, that's running the football. Yeah. It's good to be a front-first football team. I have zero issue with that. But when that's not there, what are you? And that's a question that we brought up weeks ago. If you don't have a run game, what are you? You just lost to a team that was starting a second-round quarterback for the second game in a row. That's his second career start. He was a second-round pick. And you lost to that team 17-7 today. And again, the only touchdown came after Bryce Young threw an interception, but play was overturned because of a roughing the passer call.
And that roughing the passer had nothing to do with the interception that ended up happening. And then it would have been an interception.
And he threw another bad pick later in the game. And then I'm not even going to put the bad exchange on with him and Jimmy Horn. I actually put that on Jimmy Horn Jr. I don't put that one on Bryce Young.
Happened.
But it still happened nonetheless.
But it happened.
This offense is nothing if the run game isn't going, Chris. Plain and simple.
So here's the thing, we were looking ahead. We're a part of it. We're like, they can win this one. They're 6-4. If they can win next week, they're 7-4.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's all looking good right now. When the Carolina Panthers had some expectations, they couldn't deliver.
No.
And we realized that Rico Dowdle's great run, no pun intended, since the Miami game has only been a Band-Aid for what is already a bad offense, right? The Panthers are bottom 3 in the NFL in passing yards per game. This game brings down the average just a little bit, but it was already there.
Yeah.
There's nothing that was going to happen in this game to make it shoot up or shoot down. It kind of is what it is right now, 10 games into the season. So that's not hate. That's not trying to pick and choose. It is what it is.
Yep.
One of those games, okay, that's not on Bryce because he didn't play.
Yeah.
But 9 of them, including this performance with 124
yards
for Bryce, it really shows you kind of what the Panthers are absolutely missing. And we've said this a few times. If there is a better quarterback, and we're not dissing Bryce Young and what he could possibly do, maybe the receivers need to be better. Maybe Dave Canales needs to be better.
All true.
Maybe the system needs to be better, and this isn't the system that fits him. But ultimately, at the end of the day, who does this come down on? This comes down on the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And this team moved up in the draft 8 spots to get you traded away 2 first rounds, 2 seconds, DJ Moore. And this is what we've gotten. You could have gotten this with a backup. And so, excuse me if you feel like we're hating on him, but it kind of is what it is at this point. You could have gotten 3rd worst passing team in the NFL with a backup. You could have brought Jacoby Brissett in here to do the same thing and could have had the same results so far, 5-5. At what point does the quarterback play above the deficiencies of the team?
Yeah.
And so that's the part that, there's other things to really work on for sure. But at the same time, you really have to call what it is. And Bryce Young is just not playing really good football right now. And at what point do the excuses stop?
Yeah. I mean, like you said, we're 10 games in, 9 starts for Bryce. 8 of his 9 starts has been less than 200 yards passing. That's large enough sample size. You remember the Jets game, 5.5 yards per attempt. The Green Bay game, 5.1 yards per attempt. This game, 5 yards per attempt. 5 yards per attempt. That doesn't win in this league. It just simply doesn't. You can't sustain success in this league with a quarterback that throws for 124 yards. Yeah, you're able to sneak away and get a win, like a lot of it because of Rico Dowdle and defense last week against Green Bay. But guess what? The run game wasn't fully there this week. We know how this Panthers team has to win games, and so does the rest of the NFL.
Okay.
I mean, first of all, I'll give the defense credit, by the way. Yes, they gave up a couple big plays. Defense only gave up 17, and 7 of those points was after a Bryce Young interception in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You only gave up 17. Defense did their job. I was also a big fan of Nick Sporton today. I really was overall.
Listen, like, we can talk about the defense,
Yeah.
but like, there was a crucial point in the game where the Saints could have like jumped up and doubled up the score. We'll talk about that in a second. But I wanted to add on something when we talked about this offense, right? We were talking about this in the press box.
Yeah.
The points that the Panthers have scored. Now, again, I called Rico Dowdle a Band-Aid just a few minutes ago.
He masked a lot.
He masked a lot of deficiencies that's with this team. You can look at those games and say, man, they scored 27. Man, they scored 24. Oh, wow, they had 30 points against Atlanta. All right, take those games out of it, right? Those are 3 wins. The only other game that they score over 20 points was when they had 22 versus the Cardinals, right? And that's coming back at the end where Cardinals are basically playing a prevent defense.
They were playing soft.
We're just trying to make sure we keep you in front of us, and we know we got this win at the end of the day. Other than that, Jaguars game, 10 points. We talked about the Falcons game. Patriots game, 13 points.
One of those drives was an Andy Dalton drive at the very end.
Jets game, 13 points. Bills game, 9 points. Last week versus the Packers, 16 points. This offense does not
7 today.
score. And when we were talking about the Atlanta game, where I was saying, hey, Atlanta really gave it up. Like, Atlanta was not, from coaching to quarterback to to the players on the team, like, they weren't in it. And the Panthers also, and one of them was a pick six.
Yeah, pick six, Sean Smith-Wade.
So it's like you're looking at all this and what they have going on, and like, this offense is not moving the ball at all if it's not from Rico Dowdle. That is a problem. We were told the deepest our position group on this team was wide receiver. Where are the results?
Hasn't been there.
Where are the results?
At some point,
That's what we were told at the beginning of the season.
And we have seen the comments, whether it's social media here on YouTube, we have seen the comments from people talking about, like, well, where are the actual receiving threats? I'm sorry, Coker's a good receiver. Tyrell McMillan's a number 1. All right. Some people say, well, he's actually a number 2. Okay, fine. He's still a starting caliber receiver on this team. But
Xavier
eventually,
Legette is a first-round pick.
No, that's a different conversation another time. But at some point, you expect your quarterback, number 1 overall pick, to help elevate the players around him.
If you pick somebody in the first round, though,
Yeah,
so
true.
even if he's not that,
Yeah.
it still goes back to what they saw in him.
Yep.
So, like, we're not just talking about Xavier by himself. This is also what the coaching staff feels about him. This is also what the front office feels about him. There's some failures all around here to point out.
Yeah.
When it comes to this.
And again, I'll bring up the stat that we split off with. You had 1 play of 15 or more yards. It was a 26-yard reception by Tyrell McMillan. The next longest offensive play were 2 roughing the passer calls. Those are the next 2 longest plays, but really offensive play was a 14-yard run by Rico Dowdle. That's it. There isn't a whole lot. This team has struggled. We've seen it this whole season. This isn't just hey, we're just reacting to 1 game. We're 10 in. This team doesn't push the ball down the field. You don't have a quarterback that can push the ball down the field on a consistent basis. You saw Tyler Shuck throwing deep to Chris Olave.
Tyler Shuck was the best quarterback on the field today. Tyler
Shuck, a second-round quarterback making his second career start, threw for 282 today. and wasn't afraid to push the ball down the field. It's amazing. I was talking to other people in the press box, and you see other teams go deep. You're like, whoa, what's that? This, again, we have seen it time and time again. This is a consistent thing. We have talked about, even in wins, you can't sustain winning like this, especially against good teams, let alone a team that just got its second win.
Yeah.
Bryce's last 3 starts, get 13 points against the Jets. Get 16 points against Green Bay. Get 7 against the Saints. That's a combined total, math, 36 points in the last 3 starts for Bryce Young.
Bills scored more than that.
36. There are teams that score more than 36 in one game. You did it in 3. And 2 of those games were against teams that now have combined 4 wins. The Jets got their second win today, as did the Saints.
I mean, nothing much really to add from that when it comes to the offense. I do want to show some love to the defense, though, because it's going to be very easy to pile on J.C. Horn.
Yeah.
Struggled
today.
He struggled today, fell down twice. One, he says he was pushed. The other, he slipped. Both of them ended up being touchdowns.
Yep.
But let's take out the last touchdown, because you're giving the Saints the ball
field.
on a short field after an interception. And once again, to point this out, besides the Packers, what was it? Not the Packers, the Jets game. What was the game where he had 1 turnover? Where Bryce had 1 turnover. Anyway, we said if he's going to have 1 turnover, he's going to have 2. So this, before he kind of broke that, this game, 2 turnovers because the fumble goes to him, and then the interception. But the defense, if you take away that 1 touchdown right there because they got the short field, the defense really had an opportunity to really give this up. In the second quarter, when the Panthers weren't moving the ball, it was consistent 3 and outs. The Saints had opportunities to come down and score, whether it's field goals or whether it's touchdowns, and the defense held them. And they really could have, in that last 2 minutes, come in, possibly scored, gone up 17-7 then, and then come back to start the second half, score a touchdown, and be up 24-7 then. It could have really been out of hand, but the defense held that all together. It wasn't until Bryce Young gave the ball up. And again, I'll say this, and this is not a knock on the defense. It's just more so like where things are talent-wise. I like the roster, but this team, as we said, is not built to withstand turnover.
No, they're not.
They did it against Miami, but Rico Dowdle had over 200 yards rushing. That is a different situation, right? After that, man, like what's happening? Like who else is going to step up for this team to make things happen? You can't always rely on the defense to get turnovers or to score themselves. The offense has to do their job, and the offense has not been doing it.
Let's actually go to the locker room. One of those leaders in the team, leaders in the locker room, Chuba Hubbard, talk about the struggles of the offense.
Yeah, I mean, I just said I'll give credit to the Saints. I thought they played a great game. They're flying around, doing a bunch of different things to disrupt the run. I also think on our side of the ball that we just got to be better. Just go get back to what we know what to do or what to do best, and that's run the ball and do our things. And it's not always going to be pretty. It's hard to run the ball. It's hard to win games in this league. So as long as we just continue to play our style of ball, it'll all work out. So obviously losing sucks, but we'll be all right.
Chris, something that happened today as well. Obviously the Panthers losing, but I guess you can say it's fortunate that looks like Tampa Bay losing to the New England Patriots. So that's good, I guess. The Panthers are still 1 back in the division in terms of the win-loss column, but this loss obviously sets them back because it's a divisional loss. But someone else, Derrick Brown, in the locker room, Chris, was a little animated. Got to do some editing here. But he says, hey, you know what? It's still 1 game at a time.
1-1 in the division, and we're sitting at 500. So if we mess it up, it's on us. So we got to go out here and do what we got to do in order to make those things come true.
Again, sorry for the edits and the bleeps there having me put in for Derrick Brown. But, Chris, I do appreciate Derrick Brown's honesty.
Yeah.
I really do. Derrick Brown, he's been straight with us in the locker room after every single game. Win or lose, he's been straight with us in the locker room.
I mean, you can feel the frustration.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, though, you still know that this team going into the locker room knows that they are better than what they showed today. There's not going to be many times that, we've said this before, that in certain games it feels like the players are playing above the coaching staff in some ways. You're not going to be able to do that all the time.
No.
Kellen Moore came in here with one hell of a game plan, and first-year head coach, once again, for the second time this year, whooped Dave Canales' butt when it came down to coaching. Like, they came in with a game plan. They came in with the way to control the game, and that is, first off, that is a bad team because
Saints aren't good.
Any other team that's just a little bit better would have scored at least 30 points in this game versus the Panthers.
They got a couple dudes. Let's be honest, they got a couple dudes.
And so that's also part of the difference too. They've got some home, even though the team is bad, they've got home run hitters.
They do.
On defense and on offense, which is helping to keep them in it. And they only have two wins this year, and one of them is here at Bank of America Stadium. There's a long, hard look that I think the Panthers are going to have with themselves on who's going to stay on this roster at the end of the year. How do you make things better? But then also, how do you get coaching better? How do you get the quarterback position better?
Yeah.
How do you come into games when you have the advantage? First time the Panthers have been favored by more than a score, right? Favorite 5.5.
5.5, yeah.
Right? More than they were favorites at the Jets, but that was only 1.5.
Yeah, 1.5, yeah.
So they were favored by a score. First time that's happened since week 3 of 2021. Right? That's been 4 years. How do you handle success from now on? How do you come into a game to handle success? Because if you want to get to the point to where success is not just coming in and just, making sure you're winning. Part of it is, that's a big part of it, but it's what I'm trying to say is, like, when you have success, you have to handle success. You have to follow up a good show with another good show. You know what I'm saying?
You have to validate it.
You have to validate why you're here. And you have to also, to talk in basketball terminology, you have to make your layups.
Yeah.
This is still an NFL team. This is a layup with a 7-footer in front of you. But he's not going to block your shot.
He ain't jumping.
He's not jumping. More than likely, he's going to foul you. And you didn't know how to draw that foul and make the layup and go to the line. And that's kind of what happened here with the Carolina Panthers.
My final thought is this, Chris. In the post game, we were in there, and Dave Canales was asked multiple times about Bryce Young, and Dave fell on the sword, didn't throw his quarterback under the bus. That's what a leader's supposed to do.
He was dancing.
He Euro stepped it. The Euro stepped it. But one thing that was frustrating, I know Mike Kay, the Charlotte Observer, asked us about the lack of vertical plays in this offense, and Dave said, it's something we're continuing to work on. I posted that video on social media at the Fan Rookie. And I'll give a credit to one of our listeners who said this. My apologies for not saying who it was right now. I can't remember who it was. Said, it's 10 weeks into the season. Either you have it or you don't. There's a large enough sample. Either you have it or you don't. And guess what? This team doesn't have it.
Is there anything else to say?
Leave comments, folks. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the like button. Hype it. Again, vent. We're here for you. Folks. Come here, Chris. Come here. We're here for you. We're here, folks. Right here.
We're here.
For you.
Right here.
Because we understand this is frustrating.
Listen.
Okay? We're here for you.
If I was that much of a Panthers hater, I'll be wearing If I was that much of a Panthers hater, I'll be wearing Panther socks.
He's wearing Panther socks, folks.
I'm wearing Panther socks.
He is. Okay? We want to cover a winning team. We genuinely do.
I grew up loving this team since 95. From the
Since
very
I
beginning.
moved to the state of North Carolina in 2011, I have loved this team. It's Cam's rookie year, man. I'll remember, gosh, man, I was sitting at home, my apartment in Fayetteville, the Ville, watching Cam Newton drop over 400 against the Cardinals.
I'm just playing.
And then over 400 against Green Bay this first 2 games. I was like, yeah, I'm in. Okay?
400 in the 2 games?
Each.
Man, 800 yards. How many games would it take Bryce to get 800 yards?
6. We'll see you all on Thursday.